What's going on, everyone? This is Spilling Tea with Chris G, and tonight I'm going over Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 9, Episode 3. Of course, I'm going to go ahead and hit you guys with my top five highlights, and I'm going to spill the tea at the end, so let's get started. So, for my first highlight, Sheree, Phaedra, and Porsha had all met up. And Sheree was talking about how her and Kenya had got into it after they had did the whole escape room situation, and that Kenya kept talking about how Sheree's house was not in her name, but it was in her mom's name. And Sheree did go ahead and say that the house was in a trust. So Phaedra was saying, well, the house could be in anybody's name. I mean, it doesn't really matter, whose name it is, but Kenya is always digging around for some type of information, searching up on somebody's house. Y'all know how Kenya is to keep the drama going. On to my second highlight. So, speaking of Phaedra and Porsha, later on in the episode, they had met up because Porsha wanted advice from Phaedra about her baby situation. She doesn't have a baby yet, but she's trying to have one. So she was telling Phaedra how she had met up with her ex-boyfriend named Todd. They dated in her early 20s. Todd, he's successful. He's working in the government in Washington, D.C. He has two teenage boys. He's basically making it. And he's a really handsome guy, by the way, you guys. So now we got two Todds on the show. And so they had met back up when Porsha was down in Washington, D.C. for Dish Nation. So Porsha and Phaedra, they were kind of talking about it. And Phaedra was saying, well, if you just want him for the baby, you probably need to discuss that because there's a lot of family court things involved with that. It's just not that easy of just saying, I want the kid and you step out of the picture. So then Porsha, she is so freaking cute. Instead of a prenup, why can't I have a baby nut? And Phaedra, of course, is like, girl, I ain't never heard no baby nut. But you know what, Porsha? You onto something, girl. You onto something. So Porsha had met up with Todd towards the end of the episode, and she was telling him that she really likes him, and he's cool, but she doesn't want to jump back into a marriage or a relationship right now, and she really just wants him to give up the swimmers so she can have a baby. So Todd, he wants to have more of like a family thing, and he was telling her, I kind of want to be more of a family. I don't want to just have a baby with somebody and step out of the picture. So Porsha had finally agreed. She said, well, if you spend more time with me in Atlanta, maybe we can see where things go. And honestly, them two together, they are a really cute couple. So hopefully it works out. On to my third highlight. So Sheree had went over to Bob's house, and Bob is Sheree's ex-husband. He was an ex-athlete and yada yada. He was the one who basically, I guess, outsmarted Phaedra over that whole court case, if you guys don't remember. So Bob had proposed to Sheree after he made her a smoothie to go upstairs and lay down in his bed and relax. And then he also proposed to move into her brand new house since her house is bigger than his house. And Sheree is like, listen, Bob, you did a lot of stuff to me. You put me and the kids out the house. There was a lot of verbal abuse. You had infidelity in our marriage. You never apologized for any of the things that you've done. And now you just want to go ahead and move in with me. So Bob was saying, well, maybe, we can work on getting ourselves back together. We can get back in a relationship. And he was showing off the fact that he lost 20 pounds and, showing off them little skinny thighs that he had. And so Sheree was saying that she's not opposed to Bob getting back into a relationship with her. She's just looking for love. She's looking for the perfect guy for her. And if Bob wants to be that perfect man, then he's going to have to do the work. On to my fourth highlight. So Matt and Kenya are working on their relationship. Early in the episode, Kenya and Matt, they were working out and just kind of talking about where things are going. Real quick, Kenya looks a little different in the face, you guys. Not throwing shade or anything like that, but I don't know, like she's like aged, or maybe Matt's running her crazy. I don't know, but she looks a little different. Just saying. I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but I'm just putting it out there. So, anyways, Matt was telling Kenya, he's going to have a family reunion. She's going to go with him, of course. And Kenya had asked him, does your mom feel a certain way about our age difference? And Matt said he didn't know, but you're more than welcome to ask her. So they did a road trip up to St. Louis where they had the family reunion. And Matt's mom was not really the one with all the questions. It was really Matt's sister that was kind of going in on Kenya. And, she's just being protective of her brother, which I totally understand. I'm the oldest, so I would be the same way with my siblings as well, which they would be with me. So, Matt's sister was saying there's an age difference here. I mean, Matt is worried about you not having the same feelings as he does for you. And Kenya said, listen, we have work to do with each other. There are differences, but Matt is the one for me. We're working on it together, and I really enjoy Matt. I really like him. Most men I would write off and say goodbye, but Matt, Kenya is keeping Matt around. Again, she, how she loved to put people out, but this time she's keeping Matt around her. So mom had came over, and the dad and Matt, and basically the mom said, I would love for you to be my daughter-in-law. So Kenya kind of teared up because she was saying she's finally chosen by a mom when her own mom didn't even choose her. So it just feels really good. And Matt's family, they really did make Kenya feel welcome, even though the sister was grilling her a little bit, but it was all out of love. On to my fifth highlight. So Candy had a surprise this episode. Block, who is Candy's baby father, aka Riley's father, his girlfriend Chris had popped up at the candy factory. And y'all know you just don't pop up at the candy factory. So the whole crew was there, Candy's whole crew. So, Carmen, Don Juan, Todd was there, the baby was there, her other assistant, everybody was there. And when she popped up, Candy was like really surprised that she was there. So Chris is Block's girlfriend, and she wanted to talk about how she thinks that Riley and Block should get back together and try to mend their father-daughter relationship. And Candy tried to explain to Chris that Riley's walls are up. She's not really interested, and he hasn't really been in her life like that. So Riley has moved on. So Chris, she was like, well, thanks for meeting me anyways, but I'm really about family, and hopefully they do rekindle. So Candy had met up with Sheree at the end of the episode, and Candy, I felt really bad for her. Like, she was so emotional about it, and she even brought it up to Riley. Hey, your dad's girlfriend came to my factory, and she wanted to see about you and your dad getting back together. And Riley even said, I'm not interested. So after that happened, Candy was just expressing that to Sheree, like, you know, I didn't have a relationship with my own father, but, we worked on it. And I would love for Riley to have a relationship with her father, but he didn't want to be in the picture. And he didn't want to be in the picture even before Riley was born. So Block, Chris, RL, who's another R&B singer, which I love, and Lena, who is also friends with Candy and who is also RL's wife. They were in the studio. And Chris was telling them that Candy has isolated Riley. They don't want him in their life. And that's not true. Block just didn't want to be there. And Block was saying, I'm not going to sit up there and force somebody to call me, and Candy should have had Riley always call me. So Lena was asking him, well, when are you going to take responsibility for your own actions? Because you're an adult and you're the dad. So, you can't put it upon the child to be calling you. It's got to be something on you too. Have you dropped the ball before? And Block admitted, yeah, I did call and say I was coming and I didn't show up. Okay, well, duh. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be calling you anymore either. You don't come through. So, Candy was emotional about it. Block is just like, but I'm gonna try and see what we can do. Maybe we can have a conversation. But fun fact here, Porsha was friends with Block. Just let that seep in. All right, so let's go ahead and spill that tea. So let's get started. So the Shade Room had caught Block on Instagram, and he had a picture up with him, Candy, and Riley saying one big happy family. So a fan had took to his Instagram, all daughters need their daddy. This is real life shit. Y'all, I have to say I didn't know who her dad was until I saw the episode, and it brought me to tears. You are so talented, Block. Bruh, you'll be a great talented dad. I hope y'all can come together and make it right. Life is so short. It's Thanksgiving time, y'all. Act like it. So Block had responded and said, all shit scripted. You gotta wait till the end of the season. It will all come together. So Candy Burris says, shake my head. This is not scripted. Candy had also took to her Instagram to reach out to some of her fans to say, I don't know, I really didn't want this on TV, and I really don't know what to do or how to handle this situation, and if y'all could help me out. So there were a lot of fans who came to Candy's aid, which I thought was really cool. So hopefully they can work it out. It's hard, but he's still Riley's father. Anyways, Cynthia was on US Magazine, and she was talking about her divorce to Peter. She was talking about the show. And Cynthia was asked from a fan, because fans were able to ask Cynthia questions. How does she feel about Apollo Nida's fiance coming onto the show? And Cynthia said that she was actually surprised. She was not expecting that. It was an unexpected guest. She has not spoken to Phaedra since the show. Phaedra, of course, has been in South Africa for a festival, so she was there, and she has not responded. I haven't seen anywhere on Twitter or Instagram or anything about this whole Apollo Nida new fiance situation, Miss Amafti. So I don't know, and Cynthia doesn't know, but she was saying that we'll have to catch the rest of the episode. So that was a little crazy. She did say that she still hopes to still be friends with Peter. She still loves Peter, but she just finds that being married is not her thing right now, and she is not ruling out the fact of being married one day, but she just never wants to go through a divorce ever again. Also, if you guys don't know, Kanye West had a breakdown in the hospital. Todd had actually took to his Instagram to say that he knows how he feels about his mom's, because Todd lost his mom 2 years ago as well, and he wishes Kanye West the best, so he's in support. That is it for you guys. Please make sure you subscribe. Check our Facebook page, Spilling Tea with Chris G. Check the Instagram. Check the Twitter. I will see you guys next week.